on favorite. Definitely nothing is written in stone here. This is a game where things can go wrong really fast.
Right. Yeah. So... runners have got the nod. We should be starting any second now. There we go.
So starting off in 1-1, our runners are going to pick up this mushroom here. The kind of eventual goal is to pick up a tail leading into 1F.
Right. So far so good for both runners. We head into 1-2. Lawso getting his P-speed a little faster than Esmo, and clears out 1-2 just about a second ahead of him. So, but so far so good for both runners.
Yeah, moving into 1F here, they're going to try to grab this tail with P-speed and fly all the way up, grab that whistle we all learned about from the wizard. Looks like Lawso is able to get the quick leaf. Esmo not able to keep his P-speed, is going to have to rebuild flight. So our runners are going to get this whistle, but this is the Warpless category, so they won't be able to use it. It'll just be in their inventory the entire race. But the reason that they get that is that's a much faster way to clear the stage versus taking the extra route to get to Boom Boom.
Yeah. So, and Lawso continuing to utilize his P-speeds expertly, sails through 1-5. Esmo a little slower, but also gets through cleanly. So we go on to 1-6 now. Try to go for the Superman trick here. Lawso executes it perfectly.
Yeah, that little jump there is a little harder than it seems. You really want to land as far to the left on both of those platforms as you can. We see Esmo also pulling it off very nicely there. And pretty clean World 1s for both players. Lawso getting P-speed in a couple of spots a little faster than Esmo, giving him a slight advantage, but so far very, very close.
Yeah. So, Lawso entering the air, the castle at about 226. Esmo picking up a Fire Flower. He's about 13, 14 seconds behind already, so...
Yeah. So the reason that Esmo picked up a Fire Flower and Lawso did not is actually in certain spots on the overworld where you fight the Hammer Brothers, they have a power-up in one of those boxes. And so for Lawso, the Hammer Bro ended up where the power-up wasn't going to be. Esmo landed up where the power-up is. So it saves a little bit of time by grabbing it in the Hammer Bro there, like about a half a second. But nothing too major, but just a slight little bit of luck there for Esmo.
For these runners, it's a negligible effect. You get it. You're going to get it either way, either with the Hammer Bro or here in on the airship. But the key is to have it so you can do a fire kill on Larry, the first Koopa Kid.
We see Lawso missing a couple fireballs there. The Koopa Kids have some questionable hitboxes at times. Lawso does clean up the fight at least. Gets a 336-1 grab in World 1. Looks like Esmo electing just to go for the jump kill. This is a little bit slower, but a bit safer than the fire kill.
Yeah, 348 for Esmo through World 1, so a 12-second difference. Yeah. Oh.
Lawso saving King Pole Belter. I expect we'll see a few little gems from Lawso's feed. He likes to add on some fun little things while he's running in these races. We also might see some controversial strats. Lawso is a fan of strats that are super swaggy, even if they don't save time or are very risky. So we'll see what he decides to go for here. I'm curious to see how much he's going to risk in this race for the swag.
Both runners holding on to P-Speed here in 2-1. As Lawso goes for starts 2-2, and very nice platforming across the water. We're quick 2-2 by Lawso. Let's see what Esmo can do here.
Esmo's taking a little safer at the start there, but looks like he's going to make it across the top nice and easy.
Yeah.
Something to keep track of in World 2 is the Hammer Bros. There's two Hammer Bros. The one that you can see right away on screen is a music box, which our runners normally don't need right away. But the other one's a hammer, which is very important. Since this is warpless, you can't use any warps or anything, but things like the hammers and the clouds to skip stages are very, very important. So our runners are going to be trying their best to avoid the music box if they can and get this hammer.
And in both cases, it looks like they will be able to, which is very fortunate for them. That's going to save about, what, 14 seconds?
Yeah, if you get the extra hammer bro, it's about 15 seconds. But yeah, both of our runners are able to kind of keep track of this music box. He stayed over on the left side of the screen, so they'll be able to tell which one is which pretty easily here.
Right. And
so both of our runners using fire to kill Boom Boom, using the 5 fireballs a little faster than jumping on 3 times. Lawso going for the red rocket strat. Here's one of the kind of swaggier strats. It's pretty difficult. By carrying this red shell and kicking it at P-speed, it actually goes through these blocks much, much faster. And Lawso pulled it off really nicely there. That whole strat there saves about a half a second if you do it right. So really, really risky, but Lawso was able to pull it off there.
Esmo having a little trouble with his green shell. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Okay, well.
Okay, he gets out. Yeah, it's pretty hard to avoid a hit at that point when the shell's just lying like that. Luckily enough, the really big time save Fire has in this world is that Boom Boom fight. Not a huge time loss he's gonna have in any of these last few stages until the airship where he can get that back.
Right. Yeah. So Lawso going for 2-4, which is technically faster but more dangerous than 2-5.
Yeah, 2-4 is a slight bit faster. We see Lawso taking a hit, but again, he's towards the second half of the world, not really a big time loss. Really, in general, you're kind of just going to follow that Hammer Bro and try to go whatever side of the map he's on, so that's why Lawso took 2-4. We see Esmo going over to 2-5 because the Bro hasn't really decided which way he wants to be, and 2-5, as you mentioned, is a bit safer.
Esmo getting clipped there by a red Koopa, but clears out 2-5 nicely as Lawso enters the pyramid.
Yeah, Pyramid, one of the more technical stages early on in the run. You've got these 3 walls that you have to get through, and you have to use the Buzzy Beetles to break through them if you don't have a tail, so pretty tricky to get through this level cleanly. Oh, we see Lawso taking another hit. That's actually going to be a little bit of a cost and time loss, as we see Esmo picking up a mushroom. Lawso's only going to have a mushroom for Morton's, and he's going to have to take a slightly safer route in one of the early levels in World 3 to get that fire back.
Yeah, so... But overall, probably not going to run on to a huge difference, especially if Lawso can execute some of those really nice speed strats, particularly in 3-2 and 3-3, and 3-4 as well. Because World 3 is where you really start to see the really, really good runners separate themselves from the really solid ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of stages in World 3 that are very technical. Definitely see some separation. We didn't see too much here in World 2. I would say, in terms of execution, World 2 probably one of the, outside of the pyramid, one of the easiest stages, or easiest worlds to execute well.
Yeah.
So we don't see a really big gap between runners really of any caliber outside of, a major mistake happening. So World 3, yeah, is really where this race is going to start to kick off.
And neither runner made a real mistake, and that Lawso did a slightly better job of 2-2, 2-3, and maybe in 1 or 2 other places, but it's still not particularly noticeable, and they're about half an airship apart.
Yeah, and no lead is safe in this game.
No.
Things can go wrong immediately. So it looks like Lawso has about a 9:44 wand grab in World 2. Pretty solid World 2 time overall.
Not bad. Not bad. Again, as you say, he's going to have a slightly slower start to World 3, but we'll see how that goes for him. Esmo looks like he's going to be about 10-10 or so. Yep.
Yeah, right about 10-10. 10-10.
Yeah, 26 seconds between the two runners as we enter World 3, Waterland, everybody's favorite.
Yeah, luckily you don't have to do a ton of swimming. 3-1 is actually one of the few levels you actually swim all the way for. So it looks like Lawso is going to grab his fire a little bit later here. There is a fire flower in that top box that he ran past. Most runners will either get their fire flower there or they'll get it in 3-2. So it looks like Lawso's going to go with the 3-2 fire flower.
Yeah, it's probably a little less out of the way. In 3-1 you have to go down and then out again. So this is just a simple jump and grab.
Right. The downside is you don't get a chance to go for the 3-2 P-speed strat, but that 3-2 P-speed strat is pretty risky, so I think Lawso just decided to play it safe here, grab the easier fire flower, and move on.
Yeah, but a very overshot the pipe a little bit, but a very nice 3-2 all the same from Lawso as Esmo begins his 3-2. Let's see what he tries to execute here.
Ooh, we see a runaway over on Lawso's screen. So the two Hammer Bros here are very important. Basically, how this world works is there's bridges that move up and down every time you complete a stage. You see Esmo having a little trouble here at the end of 3-2, but I think he'll be okay. But these bridges, they change every time Mario exits the stage. So optimally, what you want to do is clear out the first 5 stages of World 3 and fight both Hammer Bros. That way the bridges will be set up where you can cloud over 3-6 and go all the way to 3-8. But with Lawso getting that runaway, he's going to have a little bit of trouble here, as those bridges won't quite be right unless that bro decides to come back.
So at that point, he has essentially 2 choices. He can either play 3-6, or he can take an intentional death.
Now, unfortunately, 3-6 is a pretty long auto-scroller, so the optimal strategy in that point is to take the death. You see Lawso going for third door here. That's a 1-frame trick to re-enter that door and go straight to Boom Boom's room. Saves about 6 seconds if you get it, loses about 8 to 10 if you miss it. But as I said, Lawso's one to do swag strats when he can.
Somebody did it successfully recently. Who was it? Lutz, outside Lutz did it.
Lutz did it? I missed that race. That's awesome.
He did it in his match against Demon Battler.
Oh, that's sick. I'm glad we got a third door.
So Lawso having a little trouble here in World 3 as he enters 3-4, loses his fire but gets it back. Esmo picks up his hammer. Esmo's safe with the Hammer Bro here.
Yeah, there was a potential that Hammer Bro could have had 2 bad movements and gotten away, but one okay movement there, and he's just fine. Looks like Lawso, unfortunately, gets that bad luck. Gonna have to take the death in 3-6. And hopefully this bro doesn't walk back over to the left here.
Yeah, that would
put Lawso in even more trouble. Okay, he walks over to the right.
So now Lawso just got to be a little careful here. Doesn't want to die here in 3A, God forbid. Okay, he got rid of Boss Bass. That's good.
Yeah, 3-8, you definitely don't want to die here. You've just used a cloud to skip over an auto-scroller, so it's a huge time loss if you do die. Unfortunately, it's kind of a scary level with Boss Bass there and moving up and down. If you kind of handle it the same way every time, it's not so bad, but we'll see Esmo also taking a little safety there, just shooting Boss Bass with the fire. But yeah, as soon as something goes wrong, it can be really bad.
So about a half a stage difference now between the two runners as Lawso starts 3-9. Another somewhat technical stage, especially if you have fire. You can really just fly through this stage and show off some great P-speed strats.
Yeah, I think Lawso opted to not go for the H jump there, just grab the mushroom. As Wendy, the Koopa Kid coming up, is actually one of the more difficult Koopa Kid fights. Oh, we see Esmo just barely catching that music note block, unable to bounce over the H. But with Fire, Wendy's actually not too bad of a kill. She's one of the easier Fire kills to get, but the jump kill is actually a little scary. So I think Lawso grabbing an extra mushroom there just to have that extra hit for safety.
Mm-hmm. And maybe he'll go for the leaf on the airship just to hedge his bets.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a good idea. It's very easy to just quickly lose that tail, and it's a much safer route than taking a death to Wendy and having to redo the airship. Especially in World 3, this airship can kind of fly around to in the middle of some of those stages you skipped, so you can lose a ton of time if you die in the World 3 airship.
Yeah,
so it's a pretty scary spot.
Especially if it goes to the other side of the island, you might have to take another intentional death on, say, 3F2, and, you know, how much time does that lose? You can't even die right away in that stage. You gotta swim around to actually find something to kill you.
So yeah, all that said, Lawso does pick up that tail as a little extra insurance.
Yeah.
I guess we haven't talked about it yet. You, in general, don't want to have a tail unless you need to fly. Anytime you jump in the air with Tail Mario or Tanuki Mario, you start to lose some of your horizontal momentum. And you also have a limit on your P meter. When you jump, the game will set a timer. That's basically your flight timer. And once that runs out, you immediately lose your P speed. Whereas with Fire or Big Mario, any other power-up, as long as you're maintaining your speed and not doing any crazy turnbacks or anything like that, you can run indefinitely. So in general, you'll see runners with a tail, or not with a tail, but more with a Fire Mario, Big Mario, something like that.
Right. Takes the hit. Good Fire kill by Lawso.
Yeah, so about a 6-second, 8-second difference now. And one other thing to note is Esmo does have the star from World 3. Lawso does not. Stars aren't the most important item to have in your inventory. Lawso could kind of work it out of his route if he wanted to, but he also might pick up an extra one later on. So this is a really tight race so far. Yeah.
Stars are useful in levels like, say, 8-1, where you just want to get a good start, not have to deal with enemies. So 7-2 is another one. I'm sure Lawso's going to use it for that one.
I know Lawso's also still a fan of using a star in the beginning of 4-3, even though I give him crap for it constantly. But we'll see what he does here, see how he decides to work his route.
Well, really good 4-1 from Lawso. Esmo taking the safer route. But,
yeah, that P-speed build in 4-1 is actually really tricky. You have to be pretty precise with your jumps to get enough space. So well done there by Lawso.
Lost not great Hammer Bro movement early from for Lawso. Esmo getting a much better pattern. You don't want those three Hammer Brothers running on top of each other.
Yeah, this is a world where marathons can kind of come into play. We saw one in a race earlier on in the tournament. If the bros run to the same space, they can sometimes get stuck on each other and not separate. And this cloud, this first bro that you see here is a cloud. That's one obviously very important. We're going to see Esmo fight it right away. It's starting to get away from Lawso. He's going to hopefully want it to come back so that he can make sure he fights that.
So, the crap about the star notwithstanding, a clinic being put on here in 4-3 by Lawso.
Yeah, really clean 4-3 there. This is, we did a little bit of an info grab, and one of the questions on there was, what's your favorite stage? And I think a real strong amount of people put 4-3 down as their favorite stage. It's just really, really fun. Looks really awesome when you pull it off. We see Esmo pulling it off beautifully as well. Just kind of challenges you to do a bunch of different mechanics all at once. It's a really, really fun stage to do. We see Lawso missing the Lakitu bounce. I'm not sure if he just decided not to go for it and grab the Fire Flower, or if his timing was slightly off. But a little bit slower here. We'll see if Esmo can bounce off the Lakitu. And he does.
Yeah, I think Lawso looked like he was going for the Fire Flower. I think he just didn't want to take any chances, and I think he's also taking into consideration the three Hammer Bros. He loses the fire.
Gets sniped there at the end by the Lakitu. Not much you can do about that. You're kind of at the mercy of the Lakitu's whims there. So Lawso, unfortunately, losing that fire flower he just picked up.
Yeah, so...
Oh, and they are moving on Lawso's screen. He can't move yet. He's got a marathon going.
That was about 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. Quick kill from Esmo, and Esmo is essentially taking the lead at this point.
Yeah, Esmo's just picked up the star. In general, you want to get the cloud, and then either the P-Wing from the P-Wing and star that are at the end of this level, or you skip both of them. Looks like Esmo's just going to fight him here in World 4, and potentially use a music box at the beginning of World 5 to skip past those two bros. Lawso, unfortunately, I didn't see what bros he got, so I'm not sure if he needs this last one on screen or not.
I think he got the... Esmo got the star. So...
Yeah, he's going to move around here. He wants this P-Wing. So yeah, definitely going to just use the music box at the beginning of World 5. Alright, Lawso has to fight this bro regardless. And it looks like that is his star, so he'll have everything he needs.
So, Esmo with a slim lead going into 4F2. Enabled. Good. He's had good fortune so far in the first half of this run.
Yeah, Lawso's had a little bit of some unfortunate luck with the World 3 runaway and World 4 bros giving them some sass, but still definitely in this race. We move on to the World 4 airship. Everybody go make a sandwich or use the restroom, stand up and stretch. We've got a nice 2 minutes of half-speed auto-scrolling here. We see Lawso in the chat saying hello to everybody, and this is a stage where just there's really not much going on.
And not until about the second half of the airship when you're actually forced to pay a little attention.
Yeah, we do see Lawso here adjusting his coin count. That is something that we can talk about. Coin ships are something that you have to kind of deal with in this game, where if your coin count is a multiple of 11, like you see Lawso just went to 89, which is one above 88, and the tens digit of your score is that same digit. In Worlds 1, 3, 5, and 6, it'll turn one of the Hammer Bros into a coin chip, and that's turns the regular kind of short, quick battles between the Hammer Bros into a nice little auto-scroller that you don't want to have. So throughout the run, you'll see runners grabbing certain coins, or maybe hitting a block to adjust their coin or adjust their score, just little things like that in order to avoid those.
I forget who it was. It might have been Demon Battler, but one of the races I called earlier in this tournament did have a coin ship in World 5. Luckily, it was inconsequential, and it turned out, because it was in World 5 at the start of it, and runner was able to bypass it anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't always cost you. I think actually a previous Warpless world record either had a coin chip or almost had one, but it was fairly, I can't remember now. But a lot of the times, since most of the items these Hammer Bros have are useful, getting a coin chip can mean the end of a pretty good run. So it looks like esmo2338 won grab.
Thereabouts, and Lawso is going to grab his at 23.50, so 11 seconds in favor of Esmo at the, well, in terms of world count, the halfway point.
Yeah, so Esmo's built up a decent early lead here, but a lot of race left.
Oh yeah. But been very solid, very consistent so far in this run. He's done very well for himself. Good 5-1 from Esmo. Also Gets rid of those nippers and closes out 5-1 nicely as well. Let's see if anybody actually takes the scenic route here. This has happened in both of my races that I've called.
Esmo with a very nice strat there to bounce up to the top. You definitely want to take the higher route here in 5-2, as this upper part not only easier but a lot faster. I have seen one Pit of Despair so far in this tournament. It was not fun.
No.
Yeah, but it looks like both of our runners are going to avoid it this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Raikou Rider in my first match got it, and Outside Lutz actually got it.
So now, Esmo and Lawso going to be moving into 5F1. This is another really fun stage. I think Lawso lists this as his favorite stage. Another stage that has a lot going on with it. You see the thwomps and the atomic waffles kind of flying everywhere, but it's actually a fairly easy stage to get through. It just looks really cool when it's done well. It looks like both of our runners clearing it nicely.
Yeah, once you kind of get a handle on all the movement around it, it's actually, as you say, it's pretty easy. Esmo gonna hope for some, I think, more good fortune from the Hammer Bros. Can he get that Hammer Bro to go up?
So he grabs the P-Wing here. Lawso going to use his music box. So I guess Esmo has an extra P-Wing kind of routed into his strats here. And he does get that luck. Doesn't have to fight that extra star. So Lawso taking a slight lead as we move into the tower. Which is, oh, and he gets the Sunday sequence break. Shout out to that. It's a one-frame trick to go into that pipe the wrong way and move up to the next spot. It's kind of hard to keep your P-speed coming out of that trick, but this is a stage where maintaining P-speed throughout the different rooms is pretty difficult. We see Esmo also taking a hit, losing his fire. Not going to be the worst thing in the world. He'll be able to get that back in a couple of stages, but it will kind of take away a couple of speed strats for him in the next few stages.
Yeah, he'll get it back in 5-7.
So now our runners are moving up to the second half of World 5. All of these stages are kind of over open pits. So while none of these are particularly difficult stages, they're very punishing. And we see the commentator curse is real. Esmo takes a death by having just a missed jump there. This is his speed and takes the death.
So Esmo going to try and get his P-speed this time, and far so good. As Lawso starts off, gets going at 5-5 and sails through that.
Looks like second time is a charm in 5-4 there for Esmo. So Lawso just clipped through a block there. That was pretty neat. Actually, to clip through a block like that is sub-pixel dependent, so I don't think Lawso had any idea that was going to happen, but recovered from it nicely.
Yeah.
This game, man, it's got some fantastic hitboxes, I tell you what.
Yeah. Lawso looks like is getting some Hammer Bro RNG in his favor this time, while Esmo gets another music box for his trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Esmo necessarily wanted that music box, and he hasn't used one yet, and there's really only one other spot to use it. So maybe he didn't want to get that one, but Lawso's definitely going to want one. He'll need it for the plant in World 7. So luckily that bro didn't walk all the way down in between 5-9 and the castle, so works out okay for him there.
That's true, since both runners actually didn't have to do the music bro in World 2, so they have to get it back somehow. Especially, at least in Lawso's case, not so in Esmo. But he could use it in World 6 if he wanted. If he gets if he gets a good draw and gets the Hammer and the Cloud Bros and doesn't have to deal with the third one.
Yeah, it could be a spot where he could use it if needed. But yeah, overall, probably not going to have a use for that music box, unfortunately. So Lawso skipping over the objectively worst stage in the game, 5-9, and moving on to the World 5 airship. Esmo just a mere stage behind, so Lawso definitely made up some ground here. A chunk of that was due to Hammer Bros, but I think that death in 5-4 also causing Esmo a bit of time. Lawso with a pretty clean world overall. Oh!
Oh boy.
And a death in 5-8. So Esmo took a little turn back there, unable to get his speed all the way back, and that does cost him. You need to really have all of your speed there. Oh, it takes another death there.
I want to keep going for those speed strats. Not going to let this slow him down. There we go. Very nice. World 5 giveth, and World 5 taketh away. Lawso, with those 3 deaths in from Esmo in the sky portion of World 5, has taken a pretty solid lead here of about maybe 90 seconds, maybe a little bit more. It's on Roy, the 5th Hammer Bro.
Yeah, Roy able to stomp the ground and shake it, causing you to be stunned if you're not on or not in the air. Oh,
dude!
Esmo takes a death early on in the airship. It shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, he'll be able to get over back to that. That's kind of the real risk you take, or the kind of real scary thing you have is if you take a death on an airship. You hope that it doesn't go in between some levels you haven't beaten.
Well, in this case, the only place where it really could really hurt Esmo is if it stopped in that one spot between the castle and 5-9.
Yeah, I don't know if it will go just that one space or not. I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, that would have been the one spot that really would have hurt. We see Lawso using his hammer at the beginning of World 6 to skip past 6-1, 6-2, and 6-3, and gets the hammer right back from that other hammer bro. He'll be moving into 6F1.
Esmo's gonna have to run through. Okay, gets on top. Also gonna run across the spikes here. Set up a quick kill on Boom Boom with the invincibility star. Nice. 32-29 for Esmo, so about a 90-second difference.
Yeah, Lawso has opened up a little bit of a lead here. Now there's 2 bros left over in World 6. One is a star and one is a cloud. It actually used to be kind of a difficult thing to track which one is which, as they were off screen for a little bit. But recently, in the last few months, somebody has figured out that you can actually tell which bro is which based on how they're facing. So Lawso's going to be looking to fight the bro that's facing left once they're done moving. That one will have the cloud for him.
Okay. So let's see. So the one
looks
next,
like that one right next to 6-5 there. Speaking of 6-5, 6-5, one of the first kind of puzzle stages of the run. The game expects you to have a tail and kind of fly up towards the exit. So we use a P-Wing here, that allows us to fly very quickly, and Lawso doing some precise movements there to despawn one of the nippers up at the top, avoiding the necessary Koopa shell grab. So very nice 6-5 there from Lawso.
Okay, so Esmo grabs his tail to give himself an extra damage boost. Also getting his cloud. So... see. Ooh.
Yeah, spot of bad luck there from Lawso. Nothing you can do about that. The bro just walked right in the spot he needed to be at. Although Lawso was down a star the whole time, so he might kind of be back into more of his comfort zone with his route here with that star, so not the worst thing.
No, in the end it probably evens out, but
yeah.
I'm sure he could find a way to compensate for it, but
Also deciding to hold on to the tail here at the end of 6F2. A lot of times you'll see a runner lose that tail right after they use it. I guess he probably just goes for the damage boost strat in 6-8.
Yeah. Looks like Hammer Bros in the same position for Esmo as it was for Lawso, at least right now it is. Yeah, so double damage boost here. It's like 6-8.
Yeah, very nice 6-8 there from Lawso.
Nice. Esmo taking the safer strat, but nicely done with Koopa Shell. So about a 2-stage difference between the runners heading into the back end of World 6.
Esmo gonna use that music box now. Okay.
That's interesting.
I'm wondering, he's gonna go back to the Cloud Bro after they wake up?
Maybe. That would be my assumption, but otherwise that could really hurt later on.
Yeah, I think he might have had the Star Walk in front of him, so he didn't want to fight it. I'm not really sure. We'll see what he does here with this.
Yeah. We'll know after 6-8. Good 6F2 from Esmo, so finishing up 6F3.
Esmo make his way through 6-8, gets over the big H. Okay, so he's gonna walk back around and get his cloud here. So everything worked out in the end for him. So Esmo just flying over 6-9. It's actually a bit more... Oh, and we see an airship clip from Lawso. Very nice there. You can actually just clip up into that little spot, and you don't have to play the game for 15 seconds. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. You get to see a part of the game you would only otherwise actually see if you were playing randomized. But,
yeah, it's interesting that they put, like, boxes and stuff there. Like, there's an actual little spot of the level. I don't know, maybe they had it designed a little differently in the beginning before it became the auto-scroller that we know and love today.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's a little something to it.
Yeah, it's not just, you know... It has some substance and everything to it. Easy Iggy fight for Lawso. Closes it out at 37-52. So... Let's get now as we enter 7-1. We have to do that time-honored game. How many jumps is it going to take in 7-1?
I'm gonna say like 10 for Lawso. 10. He's gonna get sub-pixeled a whole bunch. it's gonna hurt him a bit.
One player going into the castle, the other one going out. We got a 5, a 7, 4. We got
an over-under. I'm taking the over on that. There's one. Ooh, second try. Very nice.
And that's the only number nobody said.
Hey, Lawso just making everybody upset.
Well. So Granolina was a little late there. I think on the, or maybe not, but
yeah, maybe right. It looked late for us, but with the Twitch delay, it might have been right at the deadline. Yeah. We see Esmo also getting the airship clip. Very nice. Meanwhile, Lawso, really nice 7-2 there. There's a very precise strat with a star and managing your P speed to clear a big gap that you normally have to hit a bunch of music block notes to get over. So very nicely done there by Lawso to do that.
Esmo grabbing the Oh.
Just takes the hit there. Okay, maybe just a little bit of safety. You do want to be big, as the clip is a little bit more difficult to do with a tail. So must just be using that tail as a... Or maybe got it accidentally and just lost it quick, I'm not sure. But 39.47 won grab for Esmo there.
About a 2-minute difference going into World 7. So, okay, it's Esmo's turn. How many? How many jumps?
I'm gonna say fourth try.
Fourth try.
Yeah.
Place your bets, place your bets, place your bets.
Also moving into 7F1, another one of the kind of find the tail and fly to the top. So really good candidate for a P-Wing as well. So I'm having a little trouble with the clip here. Does get in, I think that was about 10th try?
That was number 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Lawso, no clipping through the wall for him, just gonna use the P-Wing and fly straight over.
To note, even though that was 10th try, that was still much, much faster than beating the stage. 7-1's a long vertical level, so
yeah.
Even though it might take you a few tries, it's absolutely always worth it to go for the clip.
Esmo's gonna go for the P-Speed strats in 7-2. Also using a star for the beginning of 7-8, get across the chasm. Esmo taking a hit there.
Yeah, not a big deal to take a hit there. 7-3 plays pretty much the same. We see a triple mushroom. Wow, unreal. So I guess we haven't talked about this. Normally when you run at P-Speed and hit the block, you'll almost always get a star. So most times runners will take a little turn back at the end of one of the 3 cards to get something that isn't a star. But seeing a triple mushroom, very rare. That's pretty hard to get, even if you're trying for it. So really interesting that Esmo just pulls it off.
Ooh.
Well, it takes a death at 7-3 there.
Lawso going for the pipe clip in 7-9.
Yeah, so these clips a little less difficult than the 7-1. If you do have P-Speed, it's only pixel perfect, I say. Still pretty hard, but there's no sub-pixel reliance like there is in the 7-1 clip or the 7-6 clip if you go for that. But still pretty difficult. Lawso, not too bad of a time there. I think that was maybe 9 or 10 total attempts, so pretty solid.
So, gonna use his cloud and his music box to skip 7F2 on the Piranha and go straight to Ludwig's airship.
Yeah, in general, between most runners, you'll see either between 7-9, 7F2, or 8F. You'll skip one of those 3 stages with the last cloud that you have. Kind of the safest one to skip is 7F2, as that's the one that has a big chance for a death and a big time loss. But you might also see a lot of runners skip 7-9, and some will take the big risk and skip 8F. So Esmo flying over 7-6, nice and easy. World 7, the airship that Lawso's on right now, is actually the longest level in the game. Even though this scrolls at normal speed, it is twice as long, basically, as the World 4 airship, so it's just a little bit longer, is the actual longest stage in the game.
And a lot of tricky platforming on top of that. Oh dear.
Oh, Esmo not quite in getting the jump he wanted there. Takes a death in 7-8. I'm interested to see what he does here. He's going to use another star. So he could decide to go for 7-7. It's a little slower, but a lot easier to navigate. It looks like he's just going to roll deep into 7-8 here.
Might go for the hammer suit, just safety.
Yeah, I'm not sure how comfortable he is with hammer suit strats, but just having those power-ups at this point is probably a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
does lose it there, unfortunately, but he is out of 7-8. So trying to navigate that that second half of the stage as Small Mario is very, very perilous. So a good good idea overall there from Esmo. It looks like he's deciding here. Is going to cloud over 7-9.
Didn't seem sure of his decision, but now he's just got to be exactly right here. Otherwise, this will be fatal.
Yeah, this stage is a bit faster than 7-9 if done well, but as you can see, there's a lot of lava and everything, so this is a very costly death. Especially, he would basically have to go through 7-9 since he just clouded over it, and then do 7-2. It looks like he's out of the first room, so just has to deal with the Boom Boom fight now, and he should be good.
Yeah. So 45-07, incidentally, for Lawso. Had a good Ludwig fight.
Alright, so we've got a couple more auto-scrollers going, but we have something very, very fun coming up. We have the hand stages. So how the second section of World 8 works is there's 3 optional stages, and it's basically for a human 50-50 as to whether or not you'll get these hands. So you could get anywhere from 0 to 3, and since we love betting on the misfortune of others, we have started a little game here in Speed Gaming where you can gamble on the total number of hands between both of our runners. So let's see if I find the thing here to start this game up.
And the way this works is, for example, you're going to guess on the total number of hands from both players. So if you get 2 and 2, if you're guessing 2 and 2, it's 4. Right. So. And incidentally, say for example, somebody dies on the 3rd hand stage and goes all the way back to the beginning. That's 1. They have to play it again. That's 2. And any other hand stages on top of that accumulates. So it could be as many as 6, but it could also be more in theory.
Right, yeah. So generally, anywhere between 0 and 6 is probably where we're going to line up, but it could happen if a runner takes a death on the hand and gets another one. We could end up with 7 or more.
Yeah. So if we have a 4-way race, it could be up to 12.
Yeah, those are the ones that get exciting. Yeah. Especially when you got like everybody entering all at the same time. You're trying to keep track of it. We had 2 of our closest seated round 2 matchups going at the same time, so that was a lot of fun to try and keep track of all the hands everybody got.
Esmo just about finished with the airship as Lawso enters the Navy stage. If you know the words to the Village People song, you can hum along. Ooh, Esmo taking a hit there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, there is an option to get that Fire Flower back on the Navy level, actually. It's a kind of a tricky strat. It's used in the any % no long warp category. I'm not sure. I don't think Esmo's too horribly familiar with that category, so I don't know how comfortable he is with that strat. Yeah. Otherwise, he might just be going without fire until either 8-1 or 8F.
So Lawso almost about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through Navy.
Yeah, coming up on a very important section known as Boat Swag. There's a totally not myth that if you get a nice little duck under there and jump up with a little bit of swag, that you get no hands. I don't know about Lawso's Boat Swag there. Looked a little sketchy, not gonna lie. He did miss a Fire Flower or a Fireball on Boom Boom. That's probably RNG minute to get no hands. We'll see what happens. But here we go.
The hands be with you. Oh wait. Or not with you. Well,
no hands for Lawso. Nice 1 and 8.
So if you guess 0, yeah, you're looking, well, you're halfway there so far.
Yeah,
Lawso's still gotta get through this alive. So
that's true. This is the fast airship moves twice as quickly as any other auto scroller is pretty difficult. So you're not really out of the woods until you're out of this airship.
And not until you like get on the last airship, then you can kind of breathe a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen runners of all calibers die on this airship, so it's not a gimme.
It's easy if you're jumping and Hammer Bro throws a wrench when you're not expecting it. It just kind of throws off your timing and your rhythm. And here we goes.
So yeah, that RNG minute missing the fireball on Boom Boom, all planned. Lawso's out of the airship, so he's moving on to the kind of meat and potatoes of World 8. These next 3 stages, 3 of the most difficult stages to execute well. World 8, no joke in this category, or in any category of this game.
Yeah.
Also, unable to keep his P-speed down in that little area. Ooh, does take a hit. This is going to get interesting now. A lot of runners will just use a tail in 8-2, but Lawso didn't get a tail from any of the hands because he didn't get any hands. So I'll be interested to see what he decides to go for here. He'd like to be big, at least going into 8F, so he can get that first Fire Flower. So I'm interested to see how safely he takes 8-2 here.
So far, he's going for it.
So just kind of chilling here on the climb. You normally can use fireballs to just clear these guys out, but as I said, also does want to keep his big if at all possible.
Ooh.
Oh, gets a bad pattern from the sun there. Does take the hit. Really nothing he can do about it there. Just a bad pattern. Luckily, there are 2 Fire Flowers in 8F, so he can get back to that spot. He definitely wants to have fire here for the Bowser kill coming up at the end of the game, but unfortunately is going to lose a bit of time having to get both of these power-ups.
Yeah, so Esmo, meanwhile, is almost finished, so his run through the hands is about to begin. So remember, Lawso had 0. What's it going to be? Lawso can't do the quick exits, so he goes for some, yeah, he is, and gets the clip.
Nice. You see one hand there from when he made it over that first one, I'm like, is this it? Is this the dream? That's the double 0? Luckily, the second hand is the shortest one, only about a 15-second loss.
It gets a leaf as an insurance policy if anything goes wrong in 8-1.
Esmo gets grabbed with this third hand as well, so 2 hands for Esmo.
And to answer chat's question from McFruit, you have a 12.5% chance of getting no hands. It's literally a coin flip every single time.
Yep. Alright, and Esmo is out, so we do have 2 hands.
So, but it's not over yet. It won't be over until he actually clears air for it. No. But we'll assume that he is, and Esmo is going to use P-Wing to guarantee his safety.
Yeah, I see a lot of runners doing this, just using the P-Wing to not have to deal with this airship. I have seen people die with a P-Wing on this airship. Sometimes the wrenches from the rocket wrenches get a little weird. But overall, pretty safe strat, lets you get through it without too much difficulty. So this is all the way back in World 4 and 5 when we were trying to figure out exactly what he was going to be doing with that P-Wing. Here's your answer.
Boom Boom is down at Super Tanks for Lawso, so 1 stage to go and he's home free.
Yeah, on pretty good pace here. This is looking like a low 55, which is a really solid run. Gets the Bowser clip. That clip saves 1.5 seconds if you get it, loses 2.5 if you don't. So most runners will go for it just to try and save that little extra bit of time. It's the most electric clip in sports entertainment, the 1-up clip. We'll see if he goes for another one here. This one is one that, okay, he decides to pass it up. That's one that Lawso likes to do, even though it loses time. Just takes you straight to Bowser, but it's a very, very long clip. Preserves his P-speed nicely in that statue room, and he's on to Bowser. So 35 fireballs will take out Bowser. Looks like a pretty nice and easy pattern, and GG to Lawso. Showing off that Bowser's hitbox is still active after you kill him. He can still hit you after he's dead, for whatever reason. But really solid time here from Lawso.
Yeah, that first half was a little shaky, but he came through like a champ and finishes with an official SRL time of 55 minutes on the nose.
GG to Lawso.
So, if Esmo has better luck here with Mr. Sun, looks like it. Yep.
Yeah, so Esmo able to escape A2 with his big. He'll be able to grab this first Fire Flower and have a chance at the one P switch 8F basically.
Yeah. So Esmo's PB, as stated at the beginning of this broadcast, is 58.55. So maybe.
Yeah, he's really close actually. He's really close to PB pace here. Gonna see if we can get Lawso in here for an interview. Esmo able to pull off that one cycle for it. Very nice. Yeah, this is going to be super close if he's able to execute through these last two stages.
Yeah.
We're joined by Lawso.
Hi there. What a video game. Like, can we talk about how
Nice
much
run.
of a video game this is?
Yeah, how about the luck in this category? Isn't it terrific?
That was like, I was so tempted to go back and just fight the third hand. I was like, this is you give me this kind of luck the entire run, and then you give me no hands. No video game. Like, that's not how we're playing.
It's like, I didn't mean to make that deal with the devil, you know, like, give me something, gimme.
Oh, man.
But overall, pretty well done run. I don't think there was any real major mistakes anywhere. Little hiccups here and there, but nothing crazy.
World 3 was not your friend.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I played well, the game just didn't want me to.
Yeah. I'm like thinking back, there was a couple of hiccups in World 2, and then you had, World 3 wasn't your fault, you had to lose your fire there, so... otherwise, pretty solid execution all around. Yeah, As you see Esmo wrapping up Super Tanks and moving on to Bowser's Castle. He's really close to a PB here. This is going to be really tight.
What is his time?
58.55.
Yeah, this will be really close.
Not clips, so shaky start to Bowser's Castle. I think he knows it too. But yeah, actually Esmo was leading through World 4, and then he had a just awful World 5.
Yeah, World 5 really got him.
Four deaths in World 5. Including one on the airship, really hurt him very badly. So he would have had a PB by quite a bit after that.
Looks like he gets a good Bowser pattern there. Very nice kill. He's just going to barely miss PB, but this is a really good run from Esmo.
Yeah. See, I had a feeling Esmo was sandbagging me.
Yeah.
He came in looking way better than his time would make you think.
Yeah, so
looks like he finishes 59.06.
So yeah, very good time for Esmo, 11 seconds off his PB, and yeah, really like the first half of his game, he was very on point, and he was getting all the good patterns from the AI. And speaking of Esmo, we welcome Esmo to the chat. GG, sir.
Hey, thanks for the GG.
If not for World 5, that's a PB.
Man, if not for a few things, but World 5 especially, I took that first death and just kind of stayed on tilt for the rest of World 5, and that ended up being it.
Yeah, but, you know, first half of the run, very, very solid, and you were even leading after World 4.
Yeah, I saw going into World 5, I had just a small lead on Lawso, and I couldn't really believe it, and I think maybe that might have had something to do with the nerves kicking in second half of World 5.
Yeah, maybe. But, yeah, a little kind of some wonky hammer bro patterns for you, I think, in World 6, trying to avoid an extra hammer bro if you can.
Yeah, and then I realized after I put him to sleep, I was like, well, I'm going to have to come back, so I don't know how much time that's actually going to save, so...
Yeah.
But anyway...
Yeah, I was wondering if that was kind of planned or if you just did it and then was like, oh wait, I need that cloud, but it all ended up working out, so that was good at least. Yeah,
it wasn't really planned. I just kind of saw, I was like, I know that's not the bro that I want, so let me put him to sleep, and then I was like, oh, well that makes the other one go to sleep. I forgot. Whoops.
Unfortunately, can't be selective with the music.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. That'd be actually really cool if you could.
Hey, can we get a patch for that?
Yeah, come on, Shigeru. Let's get an SMB3 patch in. But let's take a look at the brackets real quick.
Yeah, that was only 11 seconds off a PB in the end, so...
Yeah, very, very nice run. Looks like Lawso, you're moving on to face Calco.
Yeah!
5806. Yeah, any thoughts on that potential matchup? That's gonna be a crazy one.
I hope he puts up another 58. I don't know, like... I think it's gonna be a really good match. Unless he decides that he doesn't want it to be a close match, and then he's going to beat me by like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Calco is one of a newer runner, but very just overall excellent platforming speedrunner. So
I mean,
I think the variance is maybe a little high there, but he's definitely capable of putting up a really good run. So that's going to be a good matchup.
He got a 52 within 5 months of starting. Actually, no, less than that. He's been running the game 5 months, and like he got a 52 within like 3 months. So, yeah.
Esmo, that's what I'm looking for. You are up against Buster B down there in losers round 1. Anything you're going to work on? Any strats you want to maybe add or get a little more consistent with before that match?
I think what I really just want to do before that match is just try to make sure everything's ironed out to where I can avoid some of these silly deaths, and I think I'll be okay for that one.
Yeah, I think, honestly, looking at your run tonight, you're definitely, like, your 58, that's going to be gone really quick. That's going to be out the window. Like, your execution's at that point where you can get a really massive PB. I think it's just a matter of time, so excited to see what you're going to have later.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah, it's... World 5, and you subtract that, and you're probably looking at what, a 57.5 probably.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because if you compare it to my gold, my World 5 was almost 1.5 minutes slower than my gold. So, and I'm typically pretty in RTA attempts. I'm typically pretty solid on World 5. So,
yeah, and looking ahead to future matches, we have several tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, my co-commentator, Oglib, will be taking on Quite Super Mario.
Oh, snap. Man, I bet you that race will be featuring somebody.
Yeah. And then 7 Eastern, Great White Hope takes on the world record holder, Mitch Flower Power. And then at 8 Eastern, we actually have a 4-way. Some idiot is facing the loser of Quite Super Mario and Oglib for his losers match. Actually, that's me. And then Gary and Old Wolf will take on Cujo.
That's a lot of action tomorrow. That's great.
Yeah, I'm only doing this because I'm on vacation on Thursday, so I have to get this out. I have to get this out of the way now before.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to move the matches along quickly. I think we've been doing a pretty good job moving at a decent clip so far. So that's always good to see at the beginning of a tournament.
Yeah, I haven't had to yell at anybody yet, which is nice.
Nice.
Then,
So let's take a look at our speed gaming schedule. Looks like over on Speed Gaming 3, we've got a Super Metroid match kicking off right about now. In about an hour's time, we've got a Celeste tournament match going on this channel, Speed Gaming 1. And let's see, we've got the Link to the Past daily randomizer going on over at Speed Gaming 2. So some nice action going on tomorrow. There's just a whole host of everything everywhere. Celeste, Super Metroid, this game, Mega Man X tomorrow, some Final Fantasy randomizer, Link's Awakening DX, so tons of good stuff coming up tomorrow as well. So keeping a nice full packed schedule of excellent speed gaming action.
yeah, and the same is true pretty much for the rest of the week. I mean, you got pretty much. If it's out there, you're gonna get if you're interested in speed gaming, it's probably gonna be something for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of different unique tournaments going on right now, which is really fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I think that is going to do it for us here tonight. Want to thank Proe for joining me on the mic.
Happy to do it. It was a good race, really good race.
Want to give Lawso and Esmo shout-outs. Thank you for the excellent race.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
One thing to point out, just everybody who's enjoying this, make sure to follow the commentators and the runners because they're all doing a lot of hard work. Not me. I'm not doing hard work. But
don't follow. No, that first one on the commentary, don't worry about that channel. It's not very important.
But at least follow Proe.
There, yeah, follow Proe. Do that.
Yeah,
Everybody follow Proe. Everybody else.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated if you do, but yeah. But
I do want to also give a shout out to Speed Gaming for hosting this tournament. Thank you for all of your resources. It's been great.
Shout outs to
And,
Tech.
Shout outs to Tech. Always give shout outs to
How
Tech.
about the Tech?
I think a couple people noticed it also. In case you were wondering.
What's that?
Your background image.
Oh, yeah.
It popped up after a little ways.
Little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us. Have a great night, everybody.
take it easy, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.